Hello, everybody. Welcome to yet another Live Monday. My name is Laura Cantu, and I am really excited to be here today to share with you today's topic, how to make your college application stand out. Today, as the title suggests, I will be sharing some tips and strategies on how your student can make their college application stand out and how you can get the attention of college admissions officers to maximize those odds of getting accepted to the right college with scholarships. So make sure that you stay tuned, make sure that you watch, make sure to comment, and to be active in the chat and to be active asking questions, interacting. I always love when these live streams are as interactive as possible because it just makes it much easier for me to have a conversation with you, and you also have me for the next 30-40 minutes talking to you. If you have a question, if you have a comment that you would like to share, I can see it real time live. So make sure that you comment and make sure that you share this video with somebody who might benefit from the information that we will be sharing today. Before we begin, I obviously, as always, want to invite you to follow us in all of our social media channels. Our English platform and our handle in all of our English channels is Best College Aid USA in YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So make sure that you follow us there, because we do go live every Tuesday on Instagram and TikTok at the same time as Mondays. We do live streams Monday and Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And we do the live streams on TikTok and Instagram on Tuesdays, YouTube, Facebook, Mondays. So make sure that you follow us so that you stay up to date with all the information that we share in these live streams. Additionally, I do want to thank our sponsor, Best College Aid, for sponsoring this live stream today. And if you want to learn more strategies, more tips after this presentation, we do have a free resource for you, which is our free training on the top secrets to get accepted to college with scholarships. This is a free training that is organized and that is hosted by my brother Francisco, who shares with you a lot of tips, a lot of strategies that not only helped my siblings and I get accepted into great colleges with full tuition scholarships, but secrets that have also helped our members inside of Best College Aid, and thousands of parents and families who have seen this training before and who have learned these tips will maximize their odds of getting accepted into college with scholarships. So if you want to watch that, the link is in this video's description. Make sure to check it out so that you can learn these amazing strategies, these top secrets. Alrighty. So why don't we go ahead and get started on how to make your college application stand out? What it is that your student should be doing to maximize those odds of acceptance, and how can they curate their college application, and what they can do to get the attention of college admissions representatives, okay? Before I do share those tips with you, I kind of just want to go over a little bit about myself. Who am I? My name is Laura Cantu, and as you can see these pictures through the years, this is me in high school when I graduated from college, and the third picture is me today. When I was in high school, I was a very involved student. I was actually part of a lot of clubs, a lot of organizations, and I even was part of the swim team. So if I would describe myself, what was my strongest suit in high school, I think I was not more focused, but my extracurriculars and my involvement really were such a big part of my college application, because not only was I doing, I was swimming, part of the swim team, and I was doing theater, but I was also part of the National Honor Society. I was also volunteering at a local hospital. So all those things were super beneficial to me when it came to applying to college, but they were also beneficial on a personal level because I learned a lot of skills that even helped me in the classroom. So when I was in high school, I was, as I said, very involved in extracurriculars. I had above average GPA, and my SATs, and I actually took the ACT. I focused on the ACT, and I did much better on that one. And that's the test that I submitted to colleges and universities. And when I was in high school, as I mentioned, the extracurricular that was basically my principal, the extracurricular that I used when applying to college to potentially get scholarships was theater. So I did musical theater since sophomore year, and I auditioned for all the shows. And I knew going into my college application journey that I wanted to do musical theater in college. So I part of my college search was to find schools that would allow me to continue to do musical theater, but do it as an extracurricular, kind of how student athletes will practice or will be part of the football team, basketball team, soccer team, swim team, but they still get to major in something else. That was my goal. My goal was not, okay, I want to major in musical theater, or I want to go to a conservatory. No, my goal was to do theater as an extracurricular. So that was very important, and a very important part of my college list when I was creating my college list. And even when I contacted admissions representatives and when I contacted theater programs at colleges, I really tried to get in touch with the directors of the theater clubs or the theater organizations so that I could tell them my situation. And that was something that helped me out a lot. So reaching out to them, that's kind of like an extra tip, because I will talk about how to reach out to college representatives in just a second. But that is something that I did, reaching out to people in the theater program, inside a theater program at the colleges that I applied to. And they provided me with tips, provided me with strategies, and even helped me when it came to auditioning, which brings me to my next point, my next part of my educational process. I graduated from Marist College. I received over $1 million in financial aid and scholarship packages from all my colleges and universities. But I decided to go to Marist College and study media studies. I also got to study abroad for free in London for 6 months for a semester, and I got to travel. And since my scholarship packages, the way that Marist works is all the scholarships that you received for the year, whether they were institutional scholarships, theater scholarships, you could use them for a semester abroad. It would cover that. So thanks to all the scholarship packages that I received and my financial aid, I was able to use this money to study abroad for a semester in London, which was amazing. And as I mentioned, I received a theater scholarship for all 4 years of college. And this was, it wasn't the biggest portion of my financial aid award, but it really did make a difference. It helped me go from maybe having to pay $4,000 per year to having a full tuition scholarships, because that covered so much of my financial aid package, of my tuition costs. So it was really helpful. And that's why we always tell our students that finding an extracurricular activity that the student enjoys, an extracurricular that the student sees themselves doing beyond high school, whether it is a sport, an art. For me, it was musical theater. It can even be leadership as well. My brother Francisco was the vice president of the National Honor Society, and he was also the president of his class for all 4 years of high school. He applied for a private scholarship and talked about those leadership positions because it was a leadership scholarship, and he received it. It was from Comcast. So all those little things, extracurriculars, really do help. And in my case, it was theater that helped me go to college and continue to do what I was passionate about, which was musical theater, and even get money for it to continue to do it. So that was my case in college. Now, fast forward, when I graduated from college, I decided with my family to create Best College Aid. I chose to start Best College Aid with my family, and we have actually helped millions of people. We have helped millions of people through social media. If you go to our TikTok, if you go to our Instagram, we have thankfully reached a lot of people with the power of the algorithm and the power of content. We have created content that has reached a lot of people, and where we share just free tips, free strategies. Perhaps maybe that's how you found us, through one of our reels, through one of these free live streams. So with Best College Aid, we have helped families and students just via social media. And then also, we have helped thousands of students inside our Best College Aid program. And over the past few years, we have helped students get accepted into great colleges and universities. Last year, we had the pleasure and we were, very happy for our graduating class because we have students in all different levels, but we did have students get accepted into schools of the likes of Penn State, UPenn, the University of Florida, UT Austin, Stanford University, Northwestern, NYU. Those were some of the schools that our students got accepted into. Emory as well. UNC Chapel Hill, and we were just so happy for them, in that seeing that our terminology and seeing that our methodology inside of Best College Aid and what we learned through our personal college admissions journey and what we have learned from helping others over the past 4 years, being able to see results. It's been really, really moving, and it's been really, just nice and rewarding. And, our Best College Aid students have received financial aid packages of over $1 million combined. So we have, students who have received full rides, full tuition scholarships, and those range from athletic scholarships, leadership scholarships. We have students who have received full rides just based on solely on academic performance. So, that has been really, really rewarding and something that has been just amazing over the past few years. So that is who I am. That's a little bit about me before we get started with today's topic, which is how to make your college application stand out. So now that I share that about me, why don't we go ahead and talk about these tips, talk about these strategies that I have for you today. So before that, I just want to share this graph or these statistics from the University of Harvard University. And these are the test scores and high school GPA for Harvard University accepted students, right? Here it says accepted in the green. That's the where the arrow or the little checkbox is highlighted. You can see that where the clump and where the more the greener area is, it's 4.0 GPA, or above a 3.5 and closer to a 1600 or a 36 ACT score or a 1600 SAT score. So of course you can see that most of the students who get accepted into Harvard have really high statistics when it comes to GPA and SAT scores. And you got maybe the students who don't have such high GPAs or such high SAT or SAT scores, and those might be athletes, those might be artists, but usually students who got accepted into the last Harvard University class had these really good grades and really good SAT scores. Now, if we move on to, the rejected students, can you see how many students who applied had just the same, if not better, grades and SAT or SAT scores, and they did not get accepted into Harvard University? There were students who had 4.0 GPAs and 1600 on the SAT or a 36 on the ACT, and they still did not get accepted into Harvard University. Well, obviously, one of the biggest things is that Harvard cannot accept everybody. It is a very selective school. There's a class number that they have to fill. But without that portion, you can still see how many students who had the quote unquote qualifications to get accepted still did not get accepted into Harvard. So if the academic components alone won't make your students stand out, how do you break through the noise, right? What is it that is going to help your students stand out? What is it that your child has to do to maybe be that green, right? That green average student that had the grades, had the extracurriculars, had the SAT or SAT scores. What did they do to stand out and to not only have the grades and the extracurriculars, but to have that little that helps them get accepted, right? So how do we do this? Well, we do this by reaching out, by creating a college application that gets recognized by admissions officers, right? How to get recognized by admissions officers of top schools. And this is not only, like, this tip is not only going to be helpful for students who are applying to top schools. Of course, it's going to be super helpful for that. But if you apply these strategies and these tips to schools that maybe are not as competitive as an Ivy League or as a top school, or a top university, public university like UNC, Tulane University, these tips can still be applied to those schools. FSU, UF, maybe schools that are not super competitive, but you still have to work really hard to get into. These tips are still going to help your students. So listen up. Let's see. So the the main tip that we share here inside of Best College Aid, and something that a lot of people maybe not know about, is that students can actually try and build a relationship with college admissions reps. And these are, colleges usually assign regional admissions officers, and these should be the first point of contact, the first people that your student reaches out to. And each school may have a different process when trying to reach their college admissions rep, but typically it goes as follows. So, regional officers are going to spend 20 to 25 minutes reviewing your profile, your application. And then depending on the school, the applications can either be fast-tracked for admissions or fast-tracked for rejections, where about 25% may be rejected after that first read. Some of them are put kind of like in a consideration pile where it's that first read and then they get reconsidered. But usually about 25% of those applications that are read in the beginning, 25% is going to be fast tracked to just be rejected, and the student's not going to get accepted. And then obviously the other process is applications will get passed on to further reviews. So in order to contact or get in touch with an admission representative, this is usually the process that the student could go about in order to, contact these admissions representatives. So find their contact information. So if you are trying to apply to, let's say, Tulane University, you're going to Google Tulane University or Harvard University, I don't know, the University of Florida, UT Austin, UCLA, whatever it is, the university's name, plus regional admissions officer. Now, once that is, searched, when you input that into Google, that first couple of results should be your answer, and usually it might have like the schools. It should have like the school's website in the URL. So that is a way that it's the most common way to find the contact information of a college or university's admissions rep. Other ways to connect are via email, via school fairs. There's a lot of high schools in America that do school fairs where colleges will have booths and will have students come in either after school, maybe during lunch, during a class period, and students can go talk to admissions reps. That's also a great way to, get recognize or get in touch with admissions reps, admissions officers, or just people that work at the school who can point you in the right direction, can maybe get you that contact. If it's not an official admissions rep, maybe it's just a worker, maybe it's an alumni or a student. If you ask them for this contact, they could help you. So parents and students, not every high school does college fairs, but if your high school does a college fair, definitely attend these fairs. Sometimes it's not even the high school. Sometimes it's if it's just, or high schools have it open for a lot of students. So it's not just, let's say, like your local or school that's right across the street is having a school fair, sometimes they're open to all high school students, not only students at that high school. Sometimes they are closed off. So it's important to attend to those fairs because it's just a great opportunity for students to put themselves out there and to get to talk to people from that college or the school that they're interested in applying to. So, as I said, email, school fairs, webinars, now that we are in the era of technology and, Zoom calls, a lot of schools, a lot of universities have little webinars, little Q&A sessions that students have to register for, put in their information, and they can attend these webinars. Sometimes they're always online, and they are over the weekend, and you can select at what time, which webinar you would like to attend. And a lot of times these are opportunities like the school or whoever is organizing or hosting these webinars, they can they allow the people to ask questions. So that is something that you should consider if you are a junior, if you sophomore, you're working your college list, you already know what school you really want to go to, your dream school, top choice school, and there are some webinars, some info sessions online. Definitely register for those. And you could even ask if you can't find that admissions rep contact information, you could get it via those webinars. And the other way to connect is obviously a campus visit. Now, campus visits are great for so many reasons. They help students get an idea of what a college and a university that they are interested in is like. They get to see it, they get to step on it, they get to see all the the campuses, the dorms, the dormitories, the food, etc. They get to ask. Usually the people who do these tours are students who live there, so they get to ask them questions about their experience. But also these are great to demonstrate interest because you are taking time out of your day, out of your week, out of your vacation, if you're doing it over summer break or winter break or maybe spring break, to go to the school. And you could also get the contact information from admissions officers, and when you attend those info sessions or those campus visit sessions, right? So that is the main way. Honestly, if you Google the university, if you can't do any of these or there's no school fairs, no webinars, Google the name of the university plus regional admissions officer, and you can find that contact. Now, what do you do when you find that contact? Well, very simple thing to do is to introduce yourself. You don't have to write a whole life story, but maybe you could ask them a couple of questions about the school, a program that you might be interested in, and just introduce yourself so that the admissions representative knows that you took time out of your day to really show them that you're interested in attending this university. And also, just if you are interested in a specific program, let's say the computer science school has an AI developing program that you're really interested in joining, you could talk about that and you could ask them about this program and just ask your questions and inquire about that, because the school will see, okay, this person knows what they want to study, they know what they want to do when they get to this school if they get in, and they have their eye on the prize, right? And you could also learn some information about that specific thing that it is that you are interested in, right? And finally, another thing that I already talked about extracurricular activities, but this is just for my middle schoolers, or even my high school students, ninth graders, 10th graders, parents with students who are just starting high school and middle school, or even if you're in the middle of your child is in sophomore or junior year. If your child has not found an extracurricular activity that they are passionate about, something that could help them, receive those institutional scholarships, because ultimately when it comes to extracurricular activities and the scholarships that students could receive for these activities such as sports, arts, leadership, it's mostly going to be institutional scholarships, and even not just scholarships, but just being involved, having a resume that a college application that shows involvement and that shows character and that shows what it is that the student was interested in throughout high school, what they did, what they were passionate about, if they were passionate about helping animals, if they worked for an animal shelter, if they started an organization to raise funds for, the local pound or the local animal society in their town, in their city, something like that, where the school, without even reading an essay, without even interviewing the student, the college admissions officer can see, okay, this student wants to apply to the pre-vet program or the pre-med program or the bio program, and they did all these volunteer hours at their local vet, and they also started a club where they raised funds for their local humane society, and they, I don't know, maybe went on a trip to work volunteer at vet clinics outside of the United States, something like that, where this is just information that it's in an application, but it can also kind of tell a story of who the student is and what their interests are. This is going to create an application that's going to stand out, and something that, as I said, college admissions officers can see before even reading an essay, because the most entertaining, or the applications that stand out are those where the college admissions officers can look at it, can look at the extracurriculars, can look at the involvement, can look at the volunteering, or even the classes that the student took, and they can kind of get an idea of who the student is or what their interests might be. Obviously, the essay is going to be super important. Writing a great college application essay is super important to put all of that together, and to really take it home and show the reader, the person who is analyzing this college application, who they are and what the student stands for, what their beliefs are, etc. But it's also important to think of it that way, to see, okay, when I fill out this application, obviously my GPA, if we're applying to a school that requires the SAT or SAT scores, what the SAT scores are, but what are my extracurriculars going to say about me? What are my, leadership positions going to say? What are the clubs, the organizations, even where I volunteered, what is that going to say about me? So if you think about it that way, you can really build an application, a college application that really shows who the student is, what they stand for, what their interests are, and that is going to make the process of creating a great college application much, much easier, right? So I guess that was it. I will say an example so you can see what I'm talking about. My brother Francisco, the biggest thing that you could tell about Francisco was that he was a big leader. He thrived in leadership positions. He was very involved. So all of the clubs and organizations that he was a part of reflected that, right? So he was the president of his class for the 4 years of high school. He was part of the National Honor Society, but not only that, he was the vice president of this club. He was also part of SGA. He was an athlete. He swam, and when he was a senior, he became the captain of the swim team. And he had great grades. He took a bunch of AP classes, passed those, but the thing that really, helped him stand out were all those leadership positions, because it wasn't just like, okay, I'm a leader in this one club. No, he really tried to join as many organizations and clubs that he was interested in. And, SGA is the student government association, where students in this school get to organize things, get to raise funds, get to, organize prom, maybe homecoming, the homecoming parade, if they do that at the high school, etc. So, Spirit Week. So those are all kind of clubs that are for students who are really into that leadership position, that being involved, talking to students, talking to administration, to the director of a program, to the principal, etc. So that when you looked at Francisco's application and you saw his extracurriculars, you could see at a glance, okay, this is a kid who loves leadership positions and who loves to be involved, loves talking. He was also, I forgot, he was also in debate, and he competed in debate all 4 years of high school. And he went really far into his competitions. He went to Harvard, he went to Boston for, all these debate competitions. So you can see where this is going. This is a very extroverted kid who was very good at talking to people, communicating and connecting. And this was something that college admissions definitely were able to tell without even getting to read his college essay yet, just by looking at that college application, those extracurriculars, those grades, that involvement, and those things that he did. And I'm not saying that your student has to be the outgoing kid, that the student that has to be super involved in talking to everybody. There are kids, students who are introverts, who maybe do better in arts, and maybe it's painting, maybe it's photography, but they, within those positions, within those clubs and organizations, they're still making a difference in their own way. Maybe they are the treasurer of the photography club, or maybe they started a photography club or a film club. Maybe they competed in film festivals in their town, and they made movies with their other friends who like to make movies, like to make films. So every student is different. It's not about who is the most, smartest, or who is the, most outgoing. It's about which student takes their strengths and, uses them to their advantages to create an application that really summarizes and really highlights who they are, what their interests are, and what they would do at that school, that college, that university. Okay, how they would help and make a difference in that community. All right, so those were my tips for you on how to make your college application stand out. I know that I talked a lot towards the end there, but I hope that those tips and the information that I just shared with you made sense and helped you out. I do want to let you know that if you want to learn more strategies, if you want to learn the rest of the, let me share it with you. If you want to learn the rest of the top secrets to getting accepted to college with scholarships and our free training, which is in this video's description, the link is underneath this video, in this video's description. If you want to learn the strategies, because this was one of the top strategies to getting accepted to college with scholarships. If you want to keep learning those, I do invite you to check out our free webinar, so you can keep learning, you can keep knowing more information that could help you. As a matter of fact, my brother Francisco is the host of this free training, and he is the one that I just talked about, who was a leader in high school. He went to UNC Chapel Hill, and he shares all those other tips with you in this free training. So if you want to access this free training, you can, let me share the screen with you. You can go to this video, which is the video that you're watching on YouTube, and you will go here where it says free webinar. You will click that button and it will take you straight to the training. Learn the top secrets to getting accepted to college with scholarships. So it's completely free training that you can register for at any time, and you don't have to pay anything to watch it. And in this training, as it says right here, you will learn how your student can get accepted into the top 10% of their high school graduating class, how to earn a top 1% SAT or SAT score, the number one thing colleges look for, how to write a perfect college essay, how to get recognized by admissions officers in top schools. That's the one that we covered today. How to earn the best college aid, which is important, and how to find the easiest scholarships to win. So if you want to learn all these tips, all these strategies, make sure to check out the free training. Again, it's in this video's description, so check it out. It's a free resource that we have for you. And we just want to give you as much information, as much resources as possible to learn how to navigate the college admissions process, because I know it can be stressful. I know it can be overwhelming, but it's not impossible to go to the right college, the right university, paying as little as possible, okay? All right. time to answer some questions or look at the comments. I see that Amy Lee says good. Well, Amy, I hope that you enjoyed this presentation. And again, the free training is in this video's description. Francisco is going to also post the link to the comment section here on Facebook. So you can, if you can't find it, he will post it in the comment section so that you can register for that free training and you can find and, hear those free tips because they are very, very helpful. And again, completely free. It's another resource that you can watch and that you can take home with you and share with your family, share with somebody who might need it so that they can, take advantage and start their college application journey successfully. All right, Jeanette Corden is asking, hi, do we need to start filling out college applications now? What is the date range to submit these applications to the top 3 colleges of choice? Perfect question, Jeanette. So the actual filling out of college applications happens during the student's senior year of high school. So if your student is currently in 12th grade and is planning to go to college next year, then yes, applications should be filled out and those, essays should already maybe be written, be finished. There's still some time, but yes, now is the time where college applications are open, depending on the type of application that the student wants to submit, whether it is an early decision, early action, or regular decision, which regular decision deadlines usually occur in the months of January, February. But now is the time if the student is in 12th grade, if they are seniors in high school. So it all depends on what grade your student is in. And also not only college applications if the student is a senior in high school, but don't forget those financial aid applications too are not, well, the CSS profile, if your student is applying to a school that requires the CSS profile, then yes, that should already be open. But the FAFSA application, which it usually opens in October 1st, remember, and we talked about this in the last few live streams that we've had, it usually opens in October, but this year they changed it to December. So that application is going to be open in a little bit over a month and a half. So that application is not open yet, but that will be opening soon. So you say that your student is a senior, Jeanette. Okay, so that application, the FAFSA, that's also something that you guys are going to have to be filling out when December comes around. And also, since he's a senior, yes, college applications should already be not sent out, but your child should be working on them. So talk to him. And if you want to learn more, I really encourage you to watch that free training. I really think it would help you, especially because you're telling me that your student is a senior. So I think those tips inside that training would really help you out. Alrighty. And if you have any questions, feel free to let us know. And that's everything that I have for you today, guys. I don't see any more questions. I had a great time. I think this was a really good presentation. I really hope that you found the information inside of this live stream and that if you do register, which you should, to our free training in this video's description, I hope that you find it valuable because it is very valuable information. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Laura Cantu, and I hope you have an amazing, amazing day, an amazing week, and I'll see you again next time.